Hey, it's Father Time here. We are at John F. Kennedy Airport in the 787 by Kuro, 787-800. I've got the new JFK scenery pack, thanks to my guy Benchy, ready to fly. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put us on a JFK to London Heathrow flight, and I'm going to do it through SimBrief. And the reason we're going to do this is because we're going to be getting ready for going across the pond on October 28th. Guys, I am a former 777 captain, 36 years with American Airlines. I retired 2 weeks ago on September 6, 2023. Today's September 22nd, 2023. I've got a cold, dark airplane going here. We're going to go a little bit of drone work, look at this new package in the terminal, fly it around a little bit. It's American Airlines Terminal 8. Here we are. Let's take a little lift up into the sky. This is Terminal 8 at JFK, my home for 36 years. Pretty cool, huh? If you want to go in the ramp tower at U.S. airports, for those of you from Europe might not know this, we use a ramp. Most of the major airlines at major airports control their own ramp. It's not done by ground control. So here we are, there we are, where are we? Airplane's right down below us. How's that? Tell me that's not cool, huh? But Benchy, thanks, buddy. Benchy kind of hooked me up with all this stuff. Benchy's in Denmark, an aspiring pilot. He's a VAT sim controller trainee and an excellent flight simmer. Helped me a lot. So thanks to him, I'm not a 65-year-old ignoramus. I am a moderately ignorant flight simmer. A lot of flight experience. I've flown 727s, 37s, 57s, 67s, 777, MD-11, MD-80, all with American Airlines. I even flew the 707 in the Air Force KC-135s. I also flew the A310, which is a Inibuild has one of those, which is excellent. Probably better than this Kuro 76. I know that. Fly into the tower. Hi, guys. Father Time here. I just retired. How you doing? Kennedy Tower. How cool is that? Don't see that every day, huh? I love this stuff. That's runway 4. I'm not sure which way we're going to sim brief and take off, but we come down Bravo, hold short of Kilo, right on Bravo, take off. Anyway, live weather. Let's go back over. Kind of wanted to show you the TWA terminal. TWA terminal, I think it's Terminal 4, was formerly the TWA terminal. Now it's a hotel. Pretty cool. They even have like it's a mock airport to be straight on it. Let me see here. That's a JetBlue hangar right there in the blue. That's Terminal 8. That's JetBlue over there, the blue terminal hangar. Let's see. International terminal. Not sure what terminal this is. Not all the terminals have that's a Connie. This is an old TWA terminal. Pretty cool. So old uniforms. It's all done in TWA colors. Isn't this spectacular? Kind of sad. It's a Connie right out there. Even the check-in counter, I've stayed here, looks like a ticket counter. But anyway, you get the idea. Let's go back over to our terminal, and we'll get us out of here. We'll start us up, get on our way. We're going to do a London Heathrow flight plan. Do a little London Heathrow flight plan. And not going to make it there. After the little terminal tour, we're going to program the airplane for London Heathrow so you can see how to program a North Atlantic and the 787 without automation, because you're not able to automatically get it on the Kuro 787, which is basically the mod on the Asobo 787. All free, by the way. Guy's been telling me to do the A310 because it's got a better, more of a study level airplane. All right, let's go on into this terminal. It's American Airlines terminal. We're downstairs at baggage claim. Well, that didn't work out, did it? We got to fly up those stairs. Doing this with a controller, guys. Xbox controller. This is actually the way we come in when I go to work. I used to go to work. Make you a little crazy watching me do this, huh? That's British Airways right ahead of us. American Airlines ticket counters are right there. Known crew members, where the crews go through, is up here. That's a gift shop. We'll go through security. It's actually a lot bigger than that. This is the American Airlines terminal. Pretty cool. I parked this at gate 14. If you go straight across, it goes under the ramp up there. Everyone's sort of frozen, huh? Hi, guys. And there's our airplane. The power electronics, we are on board, and you can see that the 787 doesn't have a fully configured cabin like some of the more sophisticated airplanes. All right, wasn't that fun, huh? Hi guys, I'm your retired captain. I've come back. Get out of here, old man. I'm in your seat forever. Yep, I know, but this is the sim world, so here we go. And we're done with the drone mode. We're back in. All right, so we're going to do a couple things. We're going to file an international flight plan with SimBrief. Alt tab. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to go on to SimBrief. And why don't we do a flight 100, which is a real flight in the morning. Actually, flight in the morning is flight 142. So that's what will be flight 142. Dispatch system on SimBrief. So if you haven't flown with me, guys, I tend to do more instructional videos. I'm not going to be the flashiest guy that you ever saw. Flight 142. That's the morning flight. The rest of them are nighttime flights on American Airlines. 142. They fly it in a 777 right now. KJFK, EGLL, aircraft type 787, 800. That's the registration. I want to go with pounds, not kilograms. There's our route here. I'm going to have to go back and forth to get it. And why don't we generate a flight? We're not going to do VATSIM. There's nobody here anyway on the VATSPY. Generate the flight plan. There it is. Runway 4 left, going into 27 right. We're not going to use SimBrief Downloader because there's nothing you can do with this Kuro airplane. 4 left. Merritt, Hartford, Putnam, Brad. Merritt, Hartford, Putnam, Brad. All right, let's go in here. Go in here. We're going to go position And what we have to do first, right, is go to the overhead and get these IRUs aligning. We'll get the window heats on. We'll get the engine anti-ice up. We'll get the left recirc fan on, the pack's up. Got this, we're not going to do a fire test. We'll get some external power on the airplane. And get the forward external power going too, why not, right? And we're going to start the APU. Packs will come on when they're ready. We want to turn on the nav lights, not the beacon. That's all we got on right now. So the IRUs are aligning. Back down to the box. This is it. GPS position, drop them in. Now it's aligning, go to route. We're going to go KJFK. KJFK. To EGLL. Runway 4 left. Yeah, so it's going to be like a little practice loading up a North Atlantic crossing flight plan. We're not going to go all the way to London, obviously. Got a little surprise for you somewhere in there. Flight 142 is our morning flight. 142. Activate. Execute. And page 2. What do we say? Merit. Hartford, which is HFD. Putnam, which is PUT. Putnam. And then Brad. Too many D's. That's not in there. So it must be BRADD. I'll look that up in a second. Hartford, Putnam, Brad. Let's go in here and make sure what's going on here, because I'm not sure. Merritt, Hartford, Putnam, Brad, BRADD. BRADD, North 141 Delta, 40. North 141 Delta. Now if this was wrong, it wouldn't have come up here. And Pori, I think it's P-O-U-R-I. P-O-U-R-I. Nope. So let's go back here. Look at that again. Portee. Get the PDF ready to go. Back in here. Portee. I kind of wanted you to see how to load up the North Atlantic coordinates. If you're going to do October 28th, sorry about that, this public typing is embarrassing. Portee. So you guys, if you haven't flown with me, then it's a North Atlantic track, which we're going to get off the flight plan. I welcome, I'm more of an instructional guy, not too flashy by default. And so after Porty, 4750, 4940, 5130. 4750, 4940, 5130. 4750, 4750, north. Next page. 4940, north. I think it was 5130, right? $51.30, $53.20 mallet. $51.30, $53.20 mallet. 51.30. 53.40. mallet. No easy way to do this, guys, because there's no automatic update on this one. Mallet, execute that for now. Go to the next page. So 41, 51, 30, 53, 40. Okay. What 30, 53, 20, 53, 20 mallet, gisty, 20 mallet gisty. Okay. Mallet. Almost done, guys. Mallet. So those are that's how you enter the coordinates manually. And then gisty. I haven't done this on the other flights, so I thought I'd do it for you. Gisty. You don't have to keep executing it. I'm doing that because I don't want to forget it. Gisty. And then let's see what we do after that. That's the oceanic clearance. That's in there. 39 and 0.83. So Merritt, Hartford, Putnam, Brad, North Atlantic 4140, North Atlantic track Tango, Gisty, then it's direct Gisty, then NJEX, AVZAC. We'd put all that in, guys. All right, but we're not going to do it right now. I'll just do an arrival in there because we're not going to go all the way to London. So I go JFK 5, 4 left, which is 100 heading at 1.5 near me. Then go in, I'll put in the arrival, which is going to be the, we'll just say the Lambda, iOS 2 left, and that's it, and that's good. So what we do is we go through the flight plan. We got to do 0 fuel weight, which is in here. Alt tab. 0 fuel weight is I've got 3,000 miles. 15 is the cost index. 39, 332, 614, 332, 614, 332. I'll put in 0.7. The reserves is 8, 39. Oh, I know this is laborious, but this is kind of how you load up North Atlantic. I wanted you to see that track message. And 390, I don't know why I did that. 390, and the cost index was 15. All right, bottom right, thrust limit. We'll go TO. Outside air temperature right now is 22. What is that, about 71 degrees? 22. And climb one, I'm just gonna go max power. Oh, the EFB in this thing is gonna be activated soon with one of these changes. I find that pretty exciting. Takeoff, we'll get our real speeds. We'll be able to do reduced power takeoffs or flex temps or assumed temp, whatever your language is. 23, CG. And that's 48, 54, 61. Next page, engine out is 800 feet. Always do next page on takeoff. 800 feet, we'll do that in VNAV. Excel height's 1500, thrust reduction is 1500. That's fine, but if it was a Excel height, thrust reduction at 1500 and a DP1, like in Europe, you put this Excel height at 3000. This at 1500, that at 3000. All right. All right, so that's the takeoff. So we go init, index, IDEN. Database is good. Today is 22 September. That's our database. I have a nav database account. We got a position. It's aligned. It's at Kennedy. The route. We'd walk through this together, check it against the flight plan. Of course, I didn't put anything after GISTI. I really was more concerned with teaching you guys how to put in the coordinates for the Atlantic crossing. And we go through, and then we go to Prague, and we check the distance, 3118, against the flight plan, which the distance is 3068, which is fine. That's reasonable. Yeah, we would have put all this stuff in at the bottom, but we're not doing that. Of course, if we were doing a SimBrief downloader, we could go, if it was a PMG aircraft or whatever it is, do here, or you could file on a network, pre-file on a network like VATSIM, and file there to give them our flight plan. And off we go. We'd activate vPilot, and we do a VATSIM. There's our crossing route minus the back side of it. Wanted to go through that with you. Hope you enjoyed that. So to backtrack, cold dock airplane would have come in, checked the circuit breakers. We want to make sure the life preservers are here. We check the pressure breathing equipment, no moisture, so it's blue. It's a blue is what we're looking for. Crash axe is over here. Halon fire extinguisher is down on the bottom. We would check for the cards, the quick reaction cards. The windows closed, the ropes are all set. And then we come in and we would actually, believe it or not, check the windshield wipers in the off position. At that point, we go battery on, power up the external power, do the fire test on the APU, start the APU if we needed air, get the packs on, get the window heat on, get the recirc fan on, forward recirc fan. And that's really all we need. To make sure all the hydraulics are off, by the way, before we did that. And we'd be on our way to getting the pre-flight done. Pre-flight, we've already done this a number of times on my other videos. You do the columns straight down. Everything's where they should be right now. There's an upper part here too, flight deck door. So you just go all the way up and down like this. And things you'll find out of place are the window heat, the packs, the left upper recirc fan, the flight director power, and the nav lights should be on. All the rest of them are off. You come down, and from here, you go across, you put A10 for the engine. Now, I'm going to spare you that because it is so hard to get this thing to get right up. If you look at the barrow down here, I'm sitting in 810, which is field elevation plus 800 feet. My engine out, that's 834. It's actually one of the better things I've ever done on that. And that's just a reminder of what your mins will be. Okay. In altimeters, we get the current hiatus, but they're 2992 today. We come across review here, engine shutdown, emergency lights. Oh, that's the other thing that was out of position that we should have done. Emergency light switches are on right here. Covered switches on. Okay, back to the in here. Engine shutdown. Fuel and send up means we're going to turn on the fuel pumps. APU's running. It's page 1 of 1. That's all good. Come back in. We're going to 5,000 on the Kennedy departure. We're going to get the flight director switches on. Auto throttles on. Both sides. 161 was our V1, our V2. For runway 4, it's going to be at 1.5 DME is what the clearance would say. But the hiatus is just, approach is just right to 099, but it's going to be 1.5 DME right to 100 heading. I have a Logitech panel here. I'm using that in the interest of time. And we can go LNAV, VNAV, arm that. That's what we're going to do. LNAV, VNAV, toga, bugs are set, box is set, right across. Then we're going to come down the middle. Gear handles down, brakes are RTO. We obviously check the altimeters against each other. That is incorrect. 2992. Let's find out what the altimeter is. We could go down and listen. It's 2872. Let's get this set up while we're here, guys. We'll say that our squawk was 4382. Get that on the clearance. Kennedy departure. I'll put this over to TARA. At that point, I'll set up the VHF. And in Kennedy ground is going to be 121.9. Just showing you how to do this. None of these other buttons work. The only ones that work here are the VHF and the transponder. None of the others work in 21.9. That's tower. That's ground, rather. Switch it over here. And then we'll be going to tower, 119.1. Kind of funky, isn't it? It's not letting me select. Let me try it like that. 0.1. As I mentioned, the middle radio would be on data mode. It would say data. And that's for ACARS. So here we go. Our ramp, Kennedy ramp frequency is 29.9. And then mostly we'll be monitoring guard for the rest of the flight until we get to North Atlantic. We'll talk about that some other time. Which is 21.5. So we got Kennedy ground here, ramp here, tower here. We're going to go from ramp, get permission to push, ground, get permission to taxi, tower, get permission for takeoff, and departure will be 135.9. Most guys will put 135.9. 35. Yeah, it's funky. It's not really working real well, is it? Okay, for whatever reason, it's not letting me get all the way over there. 135.9. And just put it over here for the reminder frequency. It's not active. And that's kind of what we do. All right. Go back in. We came across all the way down. We did throttle quadrant. We got the reversal levers down, RTO, speed brake levers down, throttle's idle, fuel levers cut off, stab trims are cut off. This is the alternate flap switch is off. Parking brake is set. We've got fire handles are in. We set the transponder. We set the radios. Our panels are set. You're unable to do two radios at once here, guys. Only one, which is kind of a bummer. This doesn't work. Rudder trim is neutral. Aileron trim, which is at the top of the yoke, is neutral. And access door is auto. We check the guard. That's a security procedure. So I think we pretty much have done the inside. So now a good thing to do right now is a checklist. Let's do it on the guide. The FO usually runs the checklist on their side. Parking brake set. Doof control switches are cut off. My daughter just had a baby. That is very interesting. I'm going to pause this transmission for just a minute, and I will get back to you. All right, guys. Sorry about that. My daughter-in-law just went in the hospital. They dropped off a diaper bag for me to, my wife, to pick up our grandson at daycare, because the mom and my son were heading into the hospital, and they got to the hospital and delivered a baby 10 minutes later. Their second baby girl, her name is Carolyn. And, man, so I got nothing to do because we got to pick up my grandson in 3 hours, and so I'll finish this video. But congratulations. You're talking to Bampy, by the way. I may be Father Time, I may be Jeff Richard, but lately I've been more Bampy than anything. This is Bampy. It's my 5th grandchild. All right, let's get back in here. Normal checklist. All right, before start checklist, passenger signs. Let's go to the overhead. Passenger signs are on. I'm dumbstruck by this, guys. This is fantastic. Last time it took her 2 days to get the baby going. MCP, talk about 161, but we check these toggles up. So you get 5 switches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This autopilot disengage. If you're flying the 787 and nothing's doing what you want it to do, this turns off everything to do with the autopilot. Disconnect. Auto throttles, you turn off here. Autopilot, get everything off, fly the airplane. So the airplane's not doing, the first thing you do is click the autopilot off, fly it. Really not doing, autopilot auto throttles off, fly it. But if this airplane is not behaving properly, get rid of all the automation via these 2 switches. Anyway, in 100 heading at 1.5 dB, 5,000 feet. That's done. So MCP is checked. I am in awe. We did the takeoff speeds. We talked about that. CDU pre-flight. We went through the database, the route, the legs, checked them against the flight plan and the total distance. We also come down here and we check NavRad that nothing's left in manual, because that means your VOR can't automatically tune for navigation. Trim. Now this is interesting. Trim, if I go to flight controls, we are out of the green band. So this, see this number? You need to be in the green band. What you do to get your takeoff after the closeout, which we'll talk about on taxi out, you go to takeoff page, and I don't know why that's not working. And something's a little bit funky with this. Here we go. There we go. Have no fear. And on the takeoff page, the stab trim's right there. That's what you set. 4.75. Right now we have 6.25 set. But on the closeout, you set whatever's on there. I'm going to leave it right there. 4.75 is forward part of it. That's where you try it, not off the closeout numbers, but up there. Taxi takeoff brief, we already did. We'll have done. Oh, you guys probably don't know him. It's Bob over here. Bob is really quiet and doesn't help much, so I have to pretty much do everything. If you were in the real airplane, the FB would sit here. That's the FO, first officer. This is the FB, and the FC, the fourth guy for long flights, like 11, 12-hour flights to Tel Aviv out of Kennedy or New Delhi, Doha. Big long flights, you'd have a fourth person. In some cases, you even need an extra captain there. That's contractual more than anything. Anyway, I digress there. All right, and beacon we get for pushback. So I would say, let's go take a look. Oh, you know what we never did? We never boarded, did we? That gives me a chance to play around with that. I think you'll enjoy this. So we'll pretend, okay, they were doing maintenance, but we got everything done. And we're gonna, I gotta get the script going. Well, actually, I gotta get the Cody going here. Cutie. We'll come back in and get GSX going. And we'll take a look at them with the outside. That's the drone right there. It's still restart Cody. Let's fly around for a second. All right, so we'll say maintenance was being done. We got everything done, and we're back inside. And we'll just start the GSX now. Here we go. Let's board. I've got it on rapid boarding. Request boarding.
Boarding requested.
So let's go back outside. Come on. That's cool. All right, we're on board. Find our way to the terminal, right, guys? That's the upper level. Have no fear. I'm just doing this while they're boarding. So you come down here in gate 12. It's right down here on the right. Are the people coming? I'll be lining up. Here we are. That's our airplane. Gate 12. So they ought to be coming shortly. I know this seems like a waste of time, guys. I love this stuff. I wonder if I could slow down the drone speed a little bit. Let me see something. Camera. I think it's because I'm already on drone. Should be coming through that door. Where are these guys? Right? Boarding passengers now. All right. All right. Hey, while we're waiting on this, let's go get our navigraph set up. Navigraph. Here it comes. I got a full thing. I'm going to unload, import flight from SimBrief. EGLL, right? Here it is. So we are at, we'll wait for them to start coming on. 20.9. Here we are, gate 12. We're going off 4 left, so it's going to be pushback probably out November Charlie, so nose to the right. No, nose right. Go November Charlie, left on Bravo, hold short of Kilo, then right on Kilo for 4 left. That's the plan. All right, I'll move the navigraph off to the side for now, and we'll go back and see. I don't hear anyone coming in just yet. Taking their sweet time. See anyone coming in the terminal? Let's go. Nothing. Where are these guys? Let's walk out to the jet bridge. Hey guys, we're ready to board in here. Where are you guys? It's like GSS kind of locked up. GSX. I'll let you guys know when we get there, when they get their act together. Boarding passengers now. Okay. Well, I'll let you know when they're coming, because right now I don't see anyone. I'll go get the agent. I'll be right back, guys. Let's get this. All right. Normally you get the crowd noise and they all come on.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
But we didn't get any of the crowd noise, so you didn't get to see the people swarming on and the crew coming on. We'll do that next time. So we did prepare for takeoffs, prepare for pushback. So let's go back inside. And
departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
All right, so that is the end. Let's do this. And we don't want to do that. Try this. Just trying to make sure we get everything right here. Let's go back to GSX. We're going to request pushback.
Locking gear.
Put the pumps on. We go clockwise on these. We go fuel pumps on. The fuel in the center, so we turn those on. Get the beacon on. We check the doors closed. We go to the checklist. And northeast, northwest. Want the nose to the left, facing northeast.
Release parking brakes, please.
Beacon is on. Parking brakes release.
Commencing push.
There we go. Let's
All
go
engines
outside.
clear. Start at will.
All right, back inside. We'll go to the overhead. Start. Yeah, the passengers never saw him get on. Next thing I know, boarding was complete. Just never got to see him. I think that's the GSX glitch. So we got the beacons on, fuel pumps on, hydraulics on, taxi we don't put on just yet. And we checked the doors were closed. Let's go in here and check that. Doors were closed and armed. Okay. Good. And status are all good. Checklist is complete. Engine starting. Gotta bring the fuel levers up. And when we're monitoring, see this little tick mark on the EGT right here, red? When those go out, the engines are fully started. But I'm gonna let him do that, or them do that, while we watch our pushback. Looks like they're doing a nose to the left. We're gonna go out Tango Alpha, left on Bravo, hold short of Kilo. Anyway, here we go. I love this stuff. Caroline Beach is born today. What a day. There's nothing for me to do. Don't think I'm a terrible grandfather because I have to finish this and there's nothing for me to do upstairs. We don't have our baby yet. Hey, look at that. It's a little, guys see that? The World War II fighter sitting at the gate. A little glitchy, I know.
Please set parking brake.
Alright, we'll set the parking brake.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Alright, let's take a look at the engines. 2 engines are started. EGTs are down. We're both on nav. Up here, this little guy, he should be on nav. Nav. Altimeters are still messed up. So we're not going to go anywhere until we do that. Oh. There we go. Confirm good engine
Cockpit
start.
to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
All right, guys. Let me go to the... We would have gotten the hiatus, right? Well, let me go to Navigraph. Bring this over. Go to weather. hiatus. Departing, it's whatever. Altimeter 3037.
Unlocking gear.
Information Foxtrot 3037. Want to see them do this? Pushback. Well, I got to come inside because I got to get this set here. 3037.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
And I'd flash the taxi light at them. And I'd ask for flaps 5. And I'd tell the other guy I have a salute. .3037, set 3 times. That's more like at 20 feet. 3037. Okay, so flaps 5, please. Right here, that tells me I got to 5. It's coming down. I'm going to go outside for this, guys. I'm going to go right aileron. The FO checks the ailerons full motion, and the elevator's using 6 seconds from start to finish. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of slow so you don't bang them around. And the captain usually holds the tiller and checks the rudder. Full throw. That looks good. Yeah, a little bit of frame droppage here, huh? Not what I really wanted to do. I like to get this in a taxi position, guys, like that, so I can see where I'm going when I get going. All right, but I digress, right? We're back in. All right, let me see if I can get this going here. Okay, and I would reach up here, turn on the taxi light, and have the guy call ramp. And ramp, American 142 Heavy off gate 12, taxi. Roger, proceed to Tango Alpha, sir, and contact ground. Tango Alpha ground, American 142 Heavy. Parking brakes off, clear left, clear right. We look on both sides, make sure there's no vehicles or people, and we taxi up. Now, we had a checklist to run, right? Anti-ice is on, recall, we did that. Auto throttles, or auto brakes, RTO, flight controls, ground equipment, APU, we got to turn off. The power, for breakaway power, no more than 40%. If you have to use more than 40, you usually tell tower that you need to use a higher power setting. They'll clear behind you, but they limit you to 40% so you don't blow anyone away. Okay, FO goes over to ground, 21.9 on VHF1. VHF2 is ramp. It says Kenny ground, American 142 Heavy coming out of Tango Alpha, taxi with information Foxtrot. American 142 Heavy. Roger, turn left on Bravo. Hold short of taxiway Kilo. Expect 4 left for departure. Sounded like some cross between a Bostonite and a New Yorker with a speech impediment. Sorry about that. Not that there's anything wrong with a speech impediment. I kind of have one myself, don't I? Kind of a lispy sloppy voice. All right, we clear left and right. Make sure there's nobody coming. We're going to taxi out to runway 4. Left. We don't do any checklist while we're taxiing. Matter of fact, there is no checklist in the 7-8 Kuro 7-8 for taxiing, but we have one in the real airlines. It's basically takeoff data and bugs. Okay, we'll go left on Bravo. We got a long way to go before I start talking about that. Yeah, a little disappointed you didn't get to see the passengers boarded. You probably have already seen that, but I've got it set on high density boarding, and I like to be out in the terminal when they come on, and they come in a big parade. You ever watch Wizard of Oz where they march in the witch's guards? Oh, we the old one, like that. Looks like that to me. They're all marching on in. Cast of characters, of which I'm one myself. All right, 10 knots max motoring, max taxi turning speed. That's so you don't get nose wheel scrubbing. If you're in a 777-300, you really square this off more, but the 7-8 is a little shorter. You can just wait till the nose gear is about 30 feet behind you. So you kind of go out, overshoot the line, swing it over. All right, and I would call for taxi for takeoff checklist. Say, okay, sir. Weights, winds, and temperatures. We have our closeout. It just came in. We're about 500 below plan. Our zero fuel weight's 341.7. So he would update 341.7. I'm just taxiing the airplane. Bugs stay the same. That's the weights. Winds. He checked the winds. They're 100 at 7. So that's a slight headwind. Weights and winds. If we had a tailwind, guys, we'd have to subtract off the takeoff power settings form for each one. Usually on the 777, I know it was 3,000 pounds per knot. So if you had a 10 knot tailwind, 15 being your max, it would be 30,000 pounds you have to take off your runway limited. Obviously going to London, this thing can go all the way to India. So going to London, you don't have to worry about that very much. Taxiing a little better today, guys. A little better today. Yeah, shout out once again to Benchy. Benchy lives in Denmark. He's doing his air traffic control checkout. He's a young guy. Hasn't flown yet. He can fly everything in the sim. He's one of those guys. One of the guys that, if you guys want to get into aviation, you need to really get the bug early. The key to having a great career is to start early. Other than that, it's luck. If you start early, you get time to ride out the bumps and the inevitable bumps in an aviation career. As the economy goes, go to the airline. So they go in and out of bankruptcy, and you get on and off the furlough list. You're laid off. There's usually a flying job around anyway, but you got to be careful. The earlier, the better. It used to be you had to have a college education. Now you can get into a cadet program with the airlines, like American, United, Delta, and US have them. Sure, British Airways, SAS have them. They take you right out of high school. You apply, you get in, you pay for your training, and then they reimburse you if you stay with them for a certain period of time. That's the way to go, in my opinion. It used to be the military, because go to the Guard or Reserve unit in the US, because they would pay for your flight training, and then you can get on with the airlines and do both, military and civilian. Active duty, you can't do that. But now I would say those cadet programs are the way to go. All right, we're going all the way around, as I mentioned, to hold short of kilo. Left on Bravo, hold short of kilo for 4 left. All right, so the weights are goods, winds, the temperature. Now we're a max power takeoff at 22 degrees. This was on a takeoff power setting. So if it was 23, we would actually need a whole new takeoff power setting. If we were on assumed or flex, which is a derated engine, you would derated takeoff. We have warranties on these engines. The more derated takeoffs you do, the more you preserve your warranty. If the airline said, you know what, we're going to do all max power takeoffs, and then all of a sudden we started shelling engines or damaging engines, and you went to Pratt & Whitney, GE, or Rolls-Royce and said, hey, these engines are going, they'd look at your data and say, well, you've been doing all max power takeoffs. Our warranty is for 95% flex power takeoffs or assumed temps. So anyway, assume temp, you can go 3,000 pounds over your plan, but if you're over 3,000, you got to get new numbers. Max takeoff, you can't go over your plan without getting new numbers. Can't go over your temperature. So that on an assumed takeoff, though, where you're derated, as long as your temperature is less than assumed, which of course it is, and your weight is less than 3,000 pounds above your planned takeoff weight, or just below your assumed takeoff weight, you're good to go. So that's weights, winds, and temperatures. That's what we check. We cross-check the FMS, and then they call out for, we say set cross-check or check cross-check, and then we check the stab trim off the box, off the TPS, make sure it's in the green band and that it's exactly what's on the TPS, on the takeoff page. Weights, winds, and temperatures. Last thing is MCP and radios. You double-check those. 161, 100, 5,000, LNAV, VNAV, and actually, you know what? Let's not do LNAV. Let me come in here for a second, guys. We'll just do runway heading. Because really, we're not supposed to be turning until 1.5 DME. So I'm going to set the runway heading in here, because our clearance was 1.5 DME. Runway heading is 044. 044. All right, kilos up here. We're going to hold short. So weight, winds, and MCP. And the last thing we would check is we would make sure the runway says 4 left, and in fact it says, let me see this, check on the box here, make sure that's in the box, and it says 4 left. Weights, winds, temperatures, MCP, and radios check, and then no less than 2 minutes we have to do a prepare for takeoff PA. So I do it now. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, and the chime, the ding-a-ling, is for when they takeoff is imminent. Wow, we get 20 messages. Don't think I'm a bad grandfather. Old Bampy here. There's nothing for me to do upstairs other than hug my wife and tell her how happy we are. I'm going to do that. I just want to finish this video. So I told her I did a bunch of stuff today. Came back home. We're going to go for a walk after this. But she said, well, you got an hour and a half. So I decided to come out and knock out a video for you guys and for myself. Checking some of my presets for takeoff. Want to get this one set a little better. Yeah, I like it. All right. That'll be a good takeoff view. All right, any questions? And I usually take this opportunity. It's not procedural to go over the engine out. I've always done it since I was in the Air Force. Sometimes you talk about it at the briefing, which are mandatory, but we don't do it. So I go over it again. I say, okay, Bob, be my takeoff, my abort. Anything prior to 80 knots, call it out, we'll execute the abort if there's any problems. Between 80 and B1, we'll only abort for engine failure, fire, overheat, or compressor stall. So if we think the engine's failed or about to fail, usually that's a red bell and a light, a red light, a bell, and a yaw, or at least a red bell. Otherwise, because everything else is inhibited anyway, we're in the go mode. If it happens to be a wheel fire, wheel problem, let's not pull the gear up until we get nice and let it cool off. 3,000 is Goodman sector. If it's an engine failure, we'll clean it up at 810. That's set on our barrow, and we'll come around and land on either runway. Works 4 right, it's 8,500 feet. This one's 11,000 with a displaced threshold, but we're good because we're so lightweight. We don't need to dump fuel. We'll plan on coming around at 3,000. There's no engine out procedure and landing. Yeah, American 142 heavy, Kennedy ground. You're clear right on Kilo, cross runway 31 left. Contact tower 19-1 on the other side. Right on Kilo, cross 31 left. Contact tower on the other side. American 142 heavy. I am positive that the New York guys would not be pleased with that imitation. Not even accurate. Can't do a New York accent. I don't even know what accent that was. All right, here we go. We're clearing. Finals clear. Clear left on the taxiway. Clear right. We'll make a right on Kilo. We can probably do this from outside. That'd be fun. You guys get a little better view. I got the new engine packet and a new exterior package on here. Benchy set me up with that stuff. I'll tap a little top brake here to get myself turned. The nose wheel steering wasn't cutting it. Sometimes when you're going over 10 knots, Microsoft Flight Simulator punishes you by not letting you turn. So a little top brake works. Clear left, clear right. We're going down here, guys. Taking off. Man, are we flying? American 142 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, line up and wait. American 142 Heavy, line up and wait. Guys, I'm going to ding them. I'm going to put our lights all on, strobes on, logo, I just gang load them. Lights are on, before takeoff checklist is complete. Final is clear, line up and wait. Not my best turn on there. Like I said, it wasn't really turning, so I had to kind of use some braking to get myself going. That looks good, right? What's wrong with that? Back in. American 142 Heavy, Kennedy Tower, you're clear for takeoff, 4 left. Clear for takeoff, 4 left, American 142 Heavy. By 50%. Toga. Let's go flying. Center line, center line, center line's your friend. Thrust is set. 80. Acceleration check cross cockpit, looks good. Little bit more sensitive than the airplane here. Yeah, very sensitive.
V1.
All right, rotate. Drake, you're up. And we'll go runway heading select, please. And guys, I'm going to turn on the autopilot because we got plans. The plan is shut down the left engine. All right. Kennedy Tower, American 100 Heavy. Like I say, it's my aircraft. We have had an engine failure, sir. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Autopilot's coming off, guys. Roger, American 142 Heavy. Maintain runway heading. Climb maintain 3000. State your intentions. All right, 142 Heavy, we'd like to come back around, sir, and do the ILS to 4 right. Right, expect ILS 4 right. Maintain 3,000 feet and turn right heading 100. Can we maintain runway heading, sir? Do we get it cleaned up? Yes, sir. All right, let's get the autopilot on, guys. 044 heading. It's not really doing it, isn't it? So the autopilot isn't working. Maybe the 7.8, I haven't flown it, doesn't work like that. Maybe it doesn't, autopilot doesn't work, engine out. I don't know. 777, you can certainly do it. We're accelerating. Come back inside. Now, with once the airplane is cleaned up, which it is, we're going to check continuous power set. Get it all trimmed up here. Climbing up to 3. It's really not behaving. It's like a real airplane. I have the stick in my lap right here. That's okay. We'll just fly it on out. A good mayday? Okay. I would say my aircraft, why don't you run the checklist? We'll see if we can get this autopilot going here. Maybe we'll do better. That's a little better. Okay, American, turn right, heading 130. Right heading 130 for American. 122 would take that turn across one. Now the FO is running the QRC for engine failure. Now we don't have a seized engine. You can see that it's not at 0. We don't have an engine fire, so it's basically just auto throttle, left auto throttle off, which we can't do. It's making me turn off both of them. So can't do that. The left throttle to idle, it's to idle, firm left, and we're leveling at 250 knots, and turning right to 130. Maybe this will work better. Heading. There we go. Now things are working. All right, so I'm flying the airplane. He's running the checklist. You got the left auto throttle would have been off. The left throttle would have been to idle, which is look at that, guys. Throttle disappeared. All right, there we go. Left fuel control switch off the cutoff. Left fire handle pull, which is not letting me do. And checklist complete. We go to the checklist up here. Normal. They don't have a. They don't have an abnormal checklist, non-normal checklist. What that would have is do landing data. Talk about in the event of go round, it's flaps 5. All right, let's turn right, heading 220. That'll be a good downwind heading. Right 220. Take you outside for that one. There we go. So we secured the engine. So what happened? We had to go mayday, 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 my aircraft, fly it out straight ahead at mid-vectoring altitude, which is 3,000. We would tell them when we're ready for turn. Once we get the airplane cleaned up, get the autopilot on, we would get the left auto throttle off, left throttle to idle, all confirming the whole thing via the checklist, which is the QRC card. Do I have one here? it looks like this. And then we would go to the electronic checklist, but in this case they don't have one. And then we pull the fire handle if we thought there was severe damage, blow the bottle if we thought it was a fire, wait 30 seconds, blow the other bottle. At this point, I'm making a PA I'm calling the flight attendants. Hey, this is Captain Richard. We have had an engine failure, and we're going to be coming back around to land at Kennedy. We should be touching down in 7 minutes. It's a precautionary landing. No need to consider an evacuation, but if we do have to evacuate, it'd be evacuate, and just remain seated after landing. We'll let you know what's going on, but not a big deal. We should be on the ground here about 7 minutes. We'll taxi to the gate. Once the safety equipment looks us over, I'll make a PA. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Richard. We've had an aircraft malfunction that warrants us returning to Kennedy. Please follow the flight attendant's instructions as we'll be landing in about 6 or 7 minutes. Once we land, we'll be able to taxi to the gate. I apologize for the inconvenience. There'll be a passenger service agent available at the gate to help you along. Hopefully, we'll be back underway to London shortly after landing. And we tell the company, we go to the box. And in here, there'll be a comm to the company, tell them that we're a malfunction and we had an engine failure returning so they can prepare for the fire and safety equipment. And that's it. All right. Now what we do is we go to the box, we go to route, KGFK to KGFK, execute, approach, ILS 4 right, execute, go here, Merritt, but we go 044 to Merritt, 044 to Merritt. What is that? That's not what you want to do. Yeah, see, that didn't work like a real airplane, guys. So normally, I was 4 right, execute, but yeah, this is not how the real airplane works. So we come all the way down, and we go direct to Merritt, all the way. It's actually, you would, as soon as you did that and put in Kennedy to Kennedy, it would have cleared everything out. That's not good. So let me go all the way down. This is jury rigging it for sure. And why is this not changing? Route, right? Page 1, Kennedy to Kennedy. Departures arrival. ILS 4 right. Execute. Legs. Yeah, it's not clearing it out. That's just, that just ain't right, Pa. So I'm going to go direct to Zeedle. Like that. All right, so that's kind of a jury rig, guys. 044 to Zeedle. Normally it would extend you. As soon as you took out Heathrow, it would extend you. So the approach is good. If you go into departures arrivals, nav at rad 1095-044, you come back in here. Legs. Looks, it's kind of messed up, but okay. Let's do this. Departures arrival, ILS 4 right, execute. ILS 4 right, execute. Yeah, it's messed up. So why don't we do the visual? Why don't we just do a visual, or go all the way down? And we'll go just direct Zeedle and leave it like that. This box doesn't work at all. So we're past the, there's Zeedle out there. We're presently at 220 knots. We've told the people, we've run the checklist. Before landing checklist, please come in here. After takeoff, gear flaps are up, we got all that. Normal recall, auto brakes. We'll go 3. Flaps are going to be 20 because it's engine out. Yeah, the sim sometimes doesn't behave like you need it to, guys. So 156, so 161, the event of go around, landing data is good, approach brief. We'd have to come in. and go to Navigraph. Drag it over here. We got time, guys. And flights, we go here, Kennedy, approach, iOS 4 right. (1095,044), EBI at 1500, DH is 212, that's set, and it isn't really, missed approach be runway heading 3000. In the event of missed approach, American 142 Heavy, you'd like to go runway heading 3,000 feet. Roger, sir, in the event of missed approach, you're cleared as requested. American 142 Heavy. All right, guys, so I think what I'll do is go down to 2,000 feet. American 142 Heavy, descend and maintain 2,000. American 142 Heavy down to 2,000. Flaps 1, please. And the speed is below 260, it's below 250, so we can go all the way to flaps 5. Remember, we're going to be doing flaps 20 approach. Let's do this, guys. Let's go Zeetle, execute, LNAV. There we go. Off we go. I'll look outside a little. Over the water, heading to Zeetle. We can slow it on down a little more. And you're not really in a big hurry, guys, to get around here. You're really not. The engine's not on fire. To be honest, you could start it, but it wasn't seized. It wasn't on fire. Who knows why it flamed up? But if you really needed it, start it. I'm not going to do it because I don't know what's going on up there. But if you go on here, check this out. What do we have going? Oil pressure, left engine fail, over temperature, generator off. Yeah, Okay. Only other thing we can do, checklist would have directed us to start the APU to get a second generator on board. And also, there is a GPWS. This is going to be a problem because where is the flap override thing? That might be a problem because I don't know on this airplane where the GPS flap override is. Normally it's here. Here. I've actually never seen it on this airplane. Maybe it knows. We might get a warning. Is it on the overhead? GPWS is on the upper overhead. A ground test, cargo fire, humid, bulk, battery, heading, reference. On the 777, it's by the gear handle. I don't see anything, kind of a GPS override. All right, so that might be a problem as we come in here. We shall see. How far out are we? 5 miles from Zeetle. We go in the box. Zeetle's supposed to be at 2, and EBI's at 1500. And I'm going to arm the approach. And we are flying in. I did a pretty good job of vectoring myself around here. Except, what's going on here, guys? The auto throttles came off. That's bad. That popped off. Right? So that's not good. That was what that little buzz was. Alright, so we'll have to be manual throttles the whole way, which is okay. Alright, and direct Zeetle again. I'm gonna go autopilot off, guys. Fly this over. The airplane can't keep up. And the real airplane, of course, it could. This one, it can't. I'm just gonna fly it like this. And at 1 dot, we put gear down. 1 dot, we put gear down, flaps 20. Yeah, autopilot's off. We'll just fly it on in. The autopilot couldn't keep up with the higher thrust setting. Real airplane, it obviously could. So it's going to be a manually flown airplane. You get to see Captain Marvel in action. And American 142 Heavy, contact Kennedy Tower, 19-1. Roger. Kennedy Tower, American 142 Heavy is on final for 4 right. We're Mayday aircraft. Our plan is to stop straight ahead on the runway, have the ARF equipment look us over, and taxi to the gate if we look good. We'll tell them, American, plan on stopping straight ahead. The runway's all yours, so you don't need it, sir. Like 142 Heavy, thank you. All right, guys, at 1 dot on the glide slope, we're going to go gear down, flaps 20. There's the glide slopes alive. We're going to miss approach, American 142 Heavy. You'd like to go runway heading 2000, sir. Roger, sir. In the event of misapproach, maintain runway heading 2000, American 142 Heavy. Yeah, this thing is a lot more sensitive to real airplane. You could also use the autopilot in real life. There's 1 dot, gear down, flaps 20, please. Set misapproach altitude 2000. Roger, misapproach altitude set. Low capture. All right, 4 landing checklists. There's the runway. 4 landing checklist is complete. Roger. It's good out there. Wasn't planning on showing you hand-flown engine out, but that's what I get.
1000.
Stable. Yes, Bench, I have Volanta on, so you can see how I grease this one on.
Minimum.
Looks like about 20 knots right cross. That's well within limits. HUD action going on here. Red over white, looks good. Kind of skipping around there, ain't it? Ain't it, Pa?
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
A little bit left of center line, but otherwise not bad. Let's see if this directional control works on the runway. Nope, it's not. Got full left rudder in. And reverse thrust on one engine. We'll stop right here. Yeah, this is 7-8 on the landing. Sometimes it doesn't work. All right, I'm not going to park the brake, guys, because we could have hot brakes. ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain. Remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. You say that so they don't start a ground evacuation or run away. Yeah, this is ARF Equipment, American. You look good. The engine, there's no damage that we can see. You want us to follow you to the gate? Yeah, follow us to the gate. American 123, 142. And that's it. All right, flaps up after landing. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Richard. Thank you for your patience. The safety equipment has looked us over. It says we're good to taxi to the gate, so we're going to taxi to gate. Gate 12, that's the exact gate we came from. If you just remain seated, we should be at the gate here shortly. See if I can get this bad boy moving, guys. Yeah, it doesn't want to move. That's all right. All right, that's it. We taxied to the gate, shut it down, and call it a day. Well, that was fun. I'm getting used to this 787, guys. Definitely going to plan on flying across the pond. It's got a lot of limitations. You might be better off with the A310 out of Inibuilds. I never flew the 787. Flies similar to 777. I have 5,000 hours on the A310, so maybe that's a better place for me to go for crossing Atlantic. I'm also the TFDI MD-11. I'm waiting for that one to come out. I wonder if the reason we couldn't taxi is because our tires are blown. Let me see. Gear. No, they all look good. They all look good. Let me cycle the brakes. Try it one more time. Nah, it doesn't want to move. All right, well, you guys have any idea why, let me know. Oh, I know why. It's still in reverse. Let me try this. Look at that. It's, maybe now it will go. Let's go outside. Let's just see something real quick. Yeah. You see that engine right there? That's in reverse. That's why it's not moving. How about now? Every time I bring up the power, the spoilers come out. That's interesting. You guys have any idea why? Yeah, that's a reverse. So let me reset that. Yeah, I was trying to figure out why it wasn't moving. Oh, yeah, that's it. It just was, the reverse door was stuck. Interesting. So if you can't get your 7.8, you've been in reverse, and that did not set. I had it in reverse, came back out. It didn't pop out, so that was why I couldn't move. Anyway, all right, Fox Bravo, hold short of 4 right. Let's taxi in, guys. Let's recap what happened. So we're taking off. This airplane is not a study level airplane. It doesn't behave like the rear airplane. You should be able to get the autopilot on. The reason I wanted the autopilot on is so I could cut the throttle without looking down at rotation. But it didn't want to have the auto. When I put the autopilot on, it didn't climb. It was descending, so I took off the autopilot. Autopilot did not want to handle it. The real airplane handles it great. Went runway heading, got it cleaned up. Once it was cleaned up, I'm flying the airplane. He runs the QRC checklist, QRH checklist, this thing. And then they goes, there's an automated checklist in the box by the FMC that you run those extra items, which do things like the APU ground proximity warning, which evidently there isn't one, because we didn't get a warning for flaps. And then it talks about the go-around being flaps 5 instead of flaps 20 because you're at flaps 20. You coordinate with the passengers, ATC, and the company. Let the flight attendants know, let the people know with the PA. Once you land, you tell them to remain seated, stop straight ahead, have ARF equipment, that's fire and rescue, look you over. And American, you're cleared to turn left on Delta Bravo, right on Bravo, gate 12, could taxi the ramp. Left on Delta Bravo, right on Bravo. American 142. I'm going to do this, guys. I'm going to take us all the way to the gate. It's more fun. All right, so that solves that mystery. The thrust reverser was stuck out. That's why it wasn't moving. First of all, I put the spoiler handle up. The spoilers didn't come up. I had to cycle those a couple of times. Still didn't want to move. I went outside and looked, and sure enough, I saw the reverser was not popped out. Cycled the reversers 3 times, didn't work. Finally, the 4th time, the reverser worked. In reverse, the airplane won't let you taxi. And on that approach, the airplane auto throttles clicked off, and that was that little chirp. I didn't know what that was, and so we auto throttles clicked off. So the airspeed went all the way back. We took it over manually. The autopilot couldn't handle flying it with the thrust that high, so we had to fly the thing in manually, which was fun. It's probably better that I'm not such a sissy boy. Can you say sissy boy anymore? Can you say that anymore? I don't know. I'm not, that's okay. My wife calls me a pussy wussy. I'm not kidding. She said, oh, don't be a pussy wussy. I know you can't say that. You know, even if the person identifies as a pussy wussy, such as myself, you're not allowed to say that. So anyway, that's my off-color thing for the little grandfather talk. So what happened during this flight? What's the most important thing that happened during this flight, this whole stream? I'm going to ask, we'll start with AJ. AJ. What's the most important thing that happened during the stream? How about Northwood Central Dave, if you're still out there? How about Benchy? Leave it in the comments section. Most important thing that happened in the stream. Really important. Have I ever lost an engine? I've been asked that a few times. Yes, I lost one in the Air Force on a T-37. I had a water injection failure on a super heavyweight takeoff in the KC-135. We couldn't get above 100 feet over Lake Champlain at a practice war takeoff, where we're right at max weight, where you lose water and it barely flies. And but the most catastrophic engine I ever had go on me was I was taking off out of Caracas, Venezuela, in an A300, which is a 310 stretch. And we took a chicken hawk, a bird, honest to God, it was 5-foot wingspan, into the engine, and it ripped apart the engine. I've never heard anything so loud and so much vibration. It was vibrating right after V1 as we rotated. It was so much vibration we couldn't see the flight instruments. So we got the throttle back and we shut down the engine, and with that, we could finally see the engine instruments. We flew around and did a visual approach, and we laid over for 5 days in Caracas by the pool. Flight attendants went home, and they wanted to do an engine change, and they wanted us to fly the airplane back to Dallas for the C check. That was the worst thing that ever happened. This, of course, was nothing. This was just an engine failure. What would cause an engine to flame out like that? I don't know. Fuel control unit failure, EEC, electronic engine control, thinks there's something wrong. That generally doesn't shut an engine down. Doesn't even shut it down for an engine fire. You have to do that. Now, guys, here's what worried me most about that. You get an engine flame out, was it contaminated fuel? If it was in Kennedy Ramp, American 142 Heavy, approaching Tango Alpha. Echo 142 Heavy. You're cleared in Tango Alpha, gate 12. Welcome back, sir. Thanks a lot. Thought you retired. I know. I know. I did. When I'm back. I don't usually talk to myself like this, guys. This is just doing this for you. Or maybe sometimes I do. So, here we go. Turning in. Clear left, clear right. Yeah, contaminated fuel. That's why you're kind of in a hurry to get on the ground, aren't you? Because what if that engine flame out was from contaminated fuel? Maybe you should have started that other one, right? There was really nothing wrong. There was nothing to indicate that it had seized up or been on fire or anything. Whoa. Yeah, this thing is getting a little tired, guys. Little tired. I'm running out of frames per second, aren't I? Overhead. Start the APU. Yeah, it's a little bit tired. I'm going to turn off the taxi light while I'm thinking of it. Come back out. Man, tell you what. This ain't good, Ma. I'll take you through the painful ending. Hey, look over here. It's a Harrier. That's pretty cool. Well, this view is almost too much to fathom, so I think I'm going to go with the outside view. There's a Harrier over there. No jet bridge for him, huh? A12's right on the other side here, and that's the one right there. Wow. We use 12 X-ray. 12 would hit the airplane's too big for that. Yeah, it's sorry guys, with this frames, it's a little hard to do. Sign's not working. That ought to do it. Stop here. Brakes apart. Man, I'm gonna have to use my presets to do this. Everything is too messed up. Seatbelt sign is off. APU is running. You can chop the engines. Throttle quadrant. The engine, right? We're going to be having a long ride up here, aren't we? And the engine should be shutting down. There it goes. Back up on the overhead. I'll do my thing. Figured I'd just finish up here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little fragmented there at times, and you know, that's kind of how it goes, especially with the frames per second dropping off like they did. These flight directors are off, cockpit door is set, open, all the wheels look good, no overheated brakes. Do it. Let's go to the checklist. Normal, altimeters for approach. We already did all that. Did speed brake, landing flaps. Normally Bob would do this. Bobby. Shutdown checklist, hydraulic panel, fuel pumps, flaps are up, parking brake set, fuel controls cut off. We did all that. And this is a secure checklist. IRUs are off. Oh, look, they plugged in external power for us. And I'll shut down the APU. And then we can turn off the left recirc fan and the packs. Okay. Back in here. Make sure we get everything. IRUs, emergency lights. We got to get packs, APU. So this is the emergency lights. That's the upper overhead. Well, it doesn't want to go. That's all right. All right, that's off. That's a checklist. So now we get to do some of this GSX stuff. And SimBrief OK. Select parking at JFK. Next page. Oh, it doesn't know that we're at JFK. Right, parking. Doesn't give me a D plane. You maybe guys have parking. Concourse. Terminal 8. Terminal 8, gate 12. Next page. Gate 12. No. Not going to let me do this. So kind of had a GSX failure today. Revoke parking, customize airport positions. Oh, it said just warp me there. That's cool. Let's do that. I don't know. It's Father Time. You guys can watch me or not. I'm just playing around here. Loading GSX menu. Doesn't want to do it today. I kind of wanted to experiment with that, but I guess I can do that without you guys here and get those people deplaning. So you can get to see the people coming on or coming off. It's just one of those days. Hey, listen, let me go to the outside drone. Whoa, look at that. Let's not look at that anymore. We made it to gate 12. There we are. No worse for the wear. Unable to deplane. We'll try it one more time. Oh, it's not going to be our day. All right, guys. It's Father Time. Really enjoyed it. I got to go celebrate the new baby. Kind of cool. Maybe this is why, because I had it like this. Okay, who knows? Sorry, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. A little bit fragmented at the end. I'm still getting used to some things. I had some FPS lag, I know, but I'm pretty pleased. Had a new grandchild during this. You know what? You could do this a long time and never see someone who had a new grandchild. So Father Time is out.